What's happening, Hoodlum gang? Welcome back to my channel. This your boy Hoodie from the Hood, aka your friend from that big old win, and I'm back at y'all with another video. But before we get started, if you happen to be new to the channel and you want to become a member of the Hoodlum gang, all you got to do is hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave me a comment down below. Excuse me. Share the video, tell a friend to tell a friend, hit that notification bell, and go on over to IG and follow me at Hoodie from the Hood. Now, as you can see, we back with part 2 of the most notorious Cliccs in the city of San Diego. Once again, because I still see y'all requesting and suggesting Cliccs that were just Cliccs. They came and they went. I'm talking about Cliccs that are a part of hoods. All that other stuff, we ain't talking about that, because respectfully, they wasn't kicking up no dust like that. Maybe a few members here and there, but overall, we talking gang business. For the people coming in the comments, oh, why you talking about this? Hey, listen, homie, you don't go to Pizza Hut and ask them why they not serving burgers. You don't go to Burger King and ask them why they not serving burritos. You see what I'm saying? Like, my content is my content. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Don't come over here and tell me I shouldn't be talking about this or I should be talking about that. No, you should not be watching. But anyways, 4,600 views. That's pretty decent on the last one. You know what I mean? But when I did the video about King Peel pulling up to Vernon Avenue, 15,000. You see what I'm saying? My analytics don't lie. Y'all like certain stuff more than other stuff. So don't be questioning me about why I talk about what I talk about when y'all don't even watch the content the same across the board. Certain stuff piques y'all interest more than others. But this one wasn't really about views. It was just about my city and something I wanted to speak on. But like I said, the proof is in the pudding right there. 15,000 compared to 4,600. Anyways, just part 2. We're gonna kick it off. And some of the, you know, names may be a little offensive, but hey man, that's what it is, homie. That's what it was. You know, like cartoons say, it is what it is, it was what it was, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Or C. Shout out to Cartoon. So next up on the list is the CK Riders. You heard it right. That was a clique out of Skyline, Peru, in the probably early 90s, maybe even late 80s. One of them will have to come into my comments and let me know exactly what year that started, how that came about, who was the co-founders. I don't know. It's just a name that I've heard sporadically over the years. Obviously, that was before my time. But when you're talking about the history of Dago, the CK Riders has popped up multiple times. Not just from homies talking about it, because I've heard homies refer to them and say they was out here cracking. But I have had conversations with older and younger Paru members who have brought them up as a elite force. Like I said, in the early 90s, maybe even late 80s, that was out here doing their thing. Skyline in general at that time was a big force to be reckoned with. They might be the deepest black gang in San Diego. I could be wrong, but I'm quite sure they are. They got the numbers, they got the territory. Also, they had rappers. I believe Baby Scar was a part of that coalition. I don't know if Shannon Bow was. I know Shannon Bow was older and he was rapping around that time too. But like I said, yeah, I believe Baby Scar was a part of that. And y'all can let me know who else was a part of that faction back then. I'm quite sure y'all got a whole roll call. Speaking of roll call, Baby Scar got an actual song called Roll Call where he's naming all his homies. Now, I don't know if they was all from that clique or what, but yeah, it came out around that time, 92, 93, somewhere around there. And he got another song, I forgot. It's on YouTube. All this stuff is on YouTube. And I forgot what the song is called, but he basically talking about how I think they lost like 9 homies within less than a year or something like that. This around like 93. So everybody was losing homies, but that was just, they said alone. And it's in a song where he said that, where they lost like 9 homies in 8 months or something crazy like that. You know what I mean? Or 10 months or something like that. So yeah, man, they was a force to be reckoned with. And I'm quite sure y'all let me know more in the comments, because it's a lot of y'all that's of that age range who vividly remember that time and era and that group. Number 2, Eastside Evil Boys. ESD, Vadio ESD, ESSD, East San Diego, Eastside San Diego, which is now called City Heights. That's a gentrified name, but if you from San Diego, you're gonna say East Dago or East San Diego or just East Side, whatever. I remember first hearing of Eastside Evil Boys, and they got a lot of cliques. You know, I got a lot of connections over there. I think from the Diablos and the Gatos and the Rascals, Diego Aztecs, Avenue Euclid, AE, Vagos. Obviously now they got 58th Street and 42nd, and I might be missing a clique. And Dead End. I remember Dead End. Those are more older cliques. But Evil Boys, to me, that just had a ring to it. I don't know if everybody else felt that way. Eastside Evil Boys, the way it sounded to me, I was like, these dudes got to be with the business. You know what I mean? I think I heard of them in the late 90s. I don't know exactly when they came out, or it was the early 2000s. Late 90s, like 99, 2000, 2001. Somewhere in that frame is when I heard the term Eastside Evil Boys. Now, I lived in Oak Park at the time, and Oak Park has a Hispanic gang, Oak Park Locos. I don't know if they too much around. Shout out to my boy Cheche, Jose. It's my boy. He from Oak Park. Snoop, he from Oak Park. And a few others, you know what I mean? And that was like their main rival back then. Their main rival was Eastside. So that's how I heard the term Eastside Evil Boys. I had been in East Dago, going over there my whole life, you know what I mean? But me being a kid, and more so obviously being black, I heard of East Dago Mob and, you know, certain other little black factions over there. But Eastside Evil Boys always stood out. I remember going over there and it was hit up everywhere. You couldn't go nowhere without seeing. Like I said, they got a lot of cliques, but Eastside Evil Boys seemed to be like the most present at that time when I was going over there. Every time you seen ESD, it was EBS or Evil Boys spelled out, hit up. Like I said, I know a lot of them dudes. Shout out Blackie. You already know what's up, bro. Lil Blackie, rest in peace. Drax. Shout out Drax. You might see this. Clever. Shout out Clever. Who else? Ace. I don't know where Ace at. I ain't seen Ace in years, man. Shout out Ace. Man, there's so many of them. It's so many of them. I remember Chico, rest in peace. Chico was a good dude. And obviously my boy Lil Ewok, he not from Evil Boys, but I can't shout out everybody else without shouting out Lil Ewok. Lil Ewok is from Vagos. But anyways, the Evil Boys was kicking up dust. That's another clique that I believe, I don't know about now, but their recruitment was open for so long. You might have somebody 10 years older than somebody else, but they was all still from Evil Boys because they had that door open. I don't know if they still do or if they stopped recruiting and you got to be from, you know, Diego Aztecs or Vagos or whatever, 58th Street. I don't know. I don't know how they doing it now, but Eastside Evil Boys for sure had to make this list. If you know, you know. Number 3, and mind you, like I said, just in case y'all didn't see the first one and y'all seen this one, there is no particular order. I'm saying number 1, 2, and 3, but that don't mean nothing. That's just how I'm, you know, putting it out there. But anyways, number 3, I'm gonna go ahead and say my big homies. This is the first time one of my Cliccs from my hood is making the list. I'm gonna go with the YCOs. The YCOs, man, the young Crip originals. These dudes played a very pivotal part. I could argue that every Clicc played a very pivotal part in my hood, but I'm not gonna put every Clicc on here, even though I want to. I'm not gonna do that. But the YCOs is about the 3rd generation. But they were the first Clicc. The first and second generation, there was no Cliccs. It was just, they was what they was. It was just from the hood. These dudes is the 3rd generation of homies that was probably born around the mid and late 60s. So by the time the early 80s came, these dudes was teenagers. You know what I mean? I believe, well, I had Lackey and Trey, 2 YCOs on my show already when I had conversations with them a while back. If y'all seen them, then you know. So these dudes would have been around 16, 17, 18 in you know, in the early 80s. The YCOs, like I said, the Blue Babies from West Coast came out around that time in them early 80s, and so did the YCOs for us. They formed prior to the crack era. You know, the crack era kicked off about 84. And that's why they was pivotal, because we all know how active and turned up and violent the crack era was. And the fact that these was the homies that was outside and they was frontlining that time and era, they got to go on this list. Like I said, I could make an argument for every Clicc. You know, so I don't want homies like, oh, you didn't mention us. You didn't. Hey, man, to me, some Cliccs were a little bit more pivotal. I don't even know how you say that. I'm tripping right now. I need to hurry up and get in work. And I'm fresh out that gym. I know y'all see. Now I'm playing. But the YCOs was outside during that crack era time. And I mean, you already know what came with that. You know, the 80s was a crazy time. Like I said, Lackey, Trey, it's so many of them. Big Ice, shout out Big Ice. You know, that's big bro. And Mike Loke home after 29 years, another YCO. Yeah, man, it's just, you know, being outside at that time. And they was the ones that, because somebody asked in my comments to speak on the Get Down Gang, but the Get Down Gang was just YCOs. Lackey already explained that. They were YCOs, and the police named them the Get Down Gang. So they was YCOs, and they was doing what they was doing, getting money, laying shit down, and the police dubbed them the Get Down Gang. So Get Down Gang / YCOs, there y'all go. I'm gonna end this video. It's already 14 minutes long. That's part 2 of the most active Cliccs in San Diego history. If you know, you know. If you don't, do your research. Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all have ran into anybody from these Cliccs, did time with them. If y'all recall the era when these dudes was kicking up dust. And I'll be back at y'all soon with another video. I'm out.